Hi, I'm David. Welcome to my channel, my yard sale. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you watching my video. I've maybe quite a few things that I want to talk about. I definitely want to talk about my health update. I want to talk about the weather, just general current events and daily stuff. So I'm from Florida. I lived in Florida for most of my life. And hurricanes, believe it or not, they come every year to Florida. And sometimes there's one, sometimes there's five. And they, of course, range from category 1 to category 5, and they get progressively worse. But when you live in Florida, if somebody lives in Florida, nobody needs to know that you're marked safe. We all assume, especially those of us who live down there, we assume that if there's a storm coming and you've lived there for more than a month or 2 months or 1 year, that you know you need to go someplace safer when you need to. When I lived in Florida, when a hurricane would come in and it was going to be pretty bad, and you can tell because they know if it's going to be category 3 or category 5, we would pack up and we would go inland or we would go north. It takes a couple hours, and it's worth that because insurance will cover everything that's still in the house or take care of the house. Nobody needs to die in a hurricane. It's so stupid. And then I hate it because I have all these people that I know on Facebook that need to mark themselves safe. Well, no shit, you're safe. You lived in Florida for your entire life. Most of these people have generators. They've been through the process a million times. It'd be like if every time it snowed in New York, if I had to mark myself safe. Am I doing that for myself, for other people, or just to get attention? I don't know. But it's just so frustrating. It makes me mad. It's like, come on, guys. If you need to go someplace safer, go to South Carolina or go someplace else where you don't have to be so needy on the attention. Very frustrating. So I'm not going to talk about the hurricane anymore. My health. My health is like so weird because it's a very fine line where I'm at. If I add in like a little bit of carbs, I'm okay. If I add in just a little bit more than a little bit or a little bit more than enough, then I have like real problems physically, and just the inflammation just wrecks my entire day. And now it's not quite as much the strength that I have. It's the fine coordination of things. Like trying to use my hands to do anything coordinated is impossible. And I think I actually need to get a supplement of magnesium because I'm getting this thing in my hand where my left hand is like shaking a lot lately. And I guess that's can be caused by tremors from not enough magnesium. So I'm going to add magnesium back into my diet since I had to stop eating all those beans. So I'm going to try adding magnesium again and trying to figure out if that's what's causing these tremors. But other than that, my health is like, it seems to be doing about the same, or maybe some days it's a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, every day is a little tiny bit easier. And I appreciate all the comments on my prior posts, especially about my diet. And I get it, it makes sense. And I get that I need to like just throw all the crap away that I have, all the food that I have. And I just can't afford to do that, unfortunately. I have to finish up the stuff that I have. And then as I add more, I'm trying to buy more healthy stuff. Only healthy, like only meat. Like the last, I don't know, 5 days or so, I've been only eating burger patties, eggs, and cheese. And that's it. And it does seem to be helping out a little bit, but it's not like a huge leap in the right direction. I'm hoping that one day I'm just going to wake up and be like, oh shit, all of a sudden my legs are working right, my hands are working right. Like I'm just hoping that's going to happen. And I do think that eating more meat and eating more carnivore will help that. but we'll see. I don't know. I am still eating some carbs. Not like as many carbs as I was before. I still have some of that shake left that I'm trying to finish up. Like I said, I have to finish this stuff up because I paid for it and I can't afford to buy all new food, unfortunately. But instead of eating a whole shake like I was before, now I'm eating like a quarter of a scoop and that's it. Now I will say that eating mostly burger patties and eggs and cheese, I'm not waking up at 5 o'clock anymore to either go to the bathroom or because I'm hungry. I was getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning for probably a couple of weeks because I would wake up at 5 starving. And somebody on this on my one of my subscribers suggested that was probably the insulin resistance, and I think that they were right. I think that's absolutely what it was. As my insulin resistance is maybe slowly lessening, it's making it so that I'm not quite so starving. And when I eat, I can eat, and it's just what I eat. And I don't wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning ready to eat like, I don't know, 5 eggs or something. So that's kind of gone away a little bit. I want to talk for the next couple seconds about Visible, the cell phone carrier. I saw an ad for these guys on, I think it was on Thursday night football the other night. And I thought people are probably wondering what the heck is Visible. So I want to talk about this for a second. Visible is a mobile carrier, just like T-Mobile or Verizon. It's just cheaper. And it's actually on the Verizon network. So it's the exact same network. If Verizon is down, Visible is down. If you don't get 5G on Verizon where you live, you're not going to get 5G on Visible either because it's the Verizon network. So that's, I guess, maybe the downside of it. The positive thing is it's about half the price. And it's just as easy as if you never call Verizon, you'll never call Visible. Your phone works. You can use your phone with unlimited text, unlimited hotspot. You can do all that. It's actually a pretty good service. It's just, if I'm the kind of person that I haven't called Verizon in probably 15 years. If a person doesn't need Verizon's help, they won't need Visible's help. Now there is help. It's just basically text based. There is help. I have used their help and it has worked and it's resolved my issue, but I can't just pick up the phone and call them, which is fine because I don't really want to need to call them. I just want the stuff to work. It should be set it and forget it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And that is kind of how it works with Visible. It's just half the price. I used to pay 60 or 70 bucks a month in Verizon wireless. Now I pay $30 with Visible. Maybe it's even, I think it is $30. And they have a couple of ways you can pay. You can pay monthly or you can pay yearly for a little bit less per month. So that's what I do. I just pay yearly. I wanted to talk about Visible because I did see the ad and I think people are looking at it thinking, what the heck? It's almost like T-Mobile, except for it's just on the Verizon network. Like if you've tried T-Mobile and T-Mobile doesn't work, but Verizon does, you can easily switch to Visible at the lower price and it would work just fine for you. If you have any questions on Visible, do me a favor and just put it below and I'll answer it. I'm not sponsored by Visible. I just know that it's confusing and there's questions that people have. And I want to help people not worry about switching to a cheaper service if it makes sense. But again, if you're the kind of person that needs to call Verizon once a month to get help with technical things or what phone to choose every year, Visible is not the right fit for you. This is they're more for people that know what they want, know what they need, and can technically kind of figure things out a little bit. So again, if you have any questions on Visible, you can put it down below and I'll answer any answers that I have or that I can do for you. And it'll be based on my experience, not on what they say or what they, what their service is, because I don't even know what their service is outside of the fact that I pick up my phone and my calls work, my texts work, and I can use hotspot, and it's all unlimited, which I'm pretty happy about. And it's one price. It doesn't go up, it stays the same price. So one of the things I mentioned in the last couple of posts that I've done is I was taking this shake that I was drinking, and I honestly actually really like it. It's supposedly a meal replacement shake, and I liked it a lot. It tasted good. It made me feel full, which a lot of those shakes, they don't make you feel full. This particular one made me feel full. The problem is, I think that it was so many carbs, it was just wrecking my metabolism. But one thing that I was noticing is that my eyesight would get a little weird. And I say weird because, I mean, my eyes didn't work right. My eyesight wasn't clear. Even with glasses on, my eyesight, I couldn't see the text on my screen completely. It just messed up my eyesight. But then I would drink one of these shakes, and my eyesight would get better for some reason. I couldn't understand it. I thought it was the shake. I thought it might have been the nutrients in the shake. But I'm thinking that it's not the nutrients that was in the shake. I found this text on Google that I'm just going to read this to you guys because this may be of interest to some folks. If your blood sugar levels change quickly from low to high, the eye's lenses can be affecting your vision. And once your sugars go back to normal, then the eye goes back to the way that it was before. So that would make sense. If my eyesight is kind of messed up, and then I drink one of these shakes that has like a decent amount of carbs, it spikes my blood sugar, makes my eyesight a little bit better because of what I just read. It could make sense. And then when my blood sugars get back to normal, my eyesight gets back to the way that it probably should be, which is not great. And that explained a little bit about my eyesight questions and my thoughts. So maybe this will be of some interest to some people. I mean, I was even trying to drink a lot of water, and that didn't seem to straighten out my eyesight. But that shake did. And I don't know if I was to eat like a spoonful of sugar, if it would make my eyesight better. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a test I might have to try. Or I'll try eating a snack cake or something. I wouldn't mind that. I like snack cakes. I just don't get to eat them very often. So I thought that was interesting about the vision. My elbows and my shoulders, my shoulder joints, still do make snapping noises, but not quite as much as they had in the past. I think that all that snapping was just purely inflammation. I'm 99% sure. Because as I've been eating only burger patties, eggs, and cheese for the last, I don't know, maybe even a couple of weeks, it seems like a lot of that snapping has gone away. The other night, I woke up in the middle of the night after watching some TV or something, and I got down on the floor and I started doing some push-ups and trying to exercise, stretching out a little bit. And I noticed my elbows were making a weird noise. It almost sounded like if you were to take like a handful of straws out of a broom and then just like crunch them together. It's kind of like what my elbows were making that noise. And it didn't hurt. And it didn't make huge popping noises, or it didn't sound like anything was breaking. It just sounded like things were rubbing together. And that was very strange. I thought that was interesting. So I don't know what that means. Hopefully that means things are getting better. I don't know if they can get much worse for me, honestly. I'm just happy that most of my joints, except for my ankles are still snapping a lot. But most of my joints are not quite snapping as much. I'm happy about that. Yeah, so the weather where I live, it gets about, I don't know, 49, 50 degrees at night now. And it's up to 70, 75 degrees during the day. So I just leave the windows closed and it stays pretty temperate in my house. I'm happy about that. finally. It won't be too much longer, and I'll be whining about how cold it is, and I'll be wearing winter hats and more winter clothes than I'm even wearing right now. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt today. I have and I'm not going to show you, but I have um, a winter blanket on my bed, so when I'm sleeping, I don't wake up in the middle of the night half freezing. So that's kind of nice actually. That's a nice way to sleep, is kind of warm and cozy under a blanket. It's sort of nice. Other than that, nice weather so far. I was reading the Farmer's Almanac reports, and hopefully they're saying that this year might be another moderate year. I'm hoping it is, because I could use another moderate year. I could use 12 more months of not having to worry about snow and ice. I think I'm done walking in the snow and ice. I don't know if I can even do it anymore. It's hard enough just getting to the kitchen and back, let alone trying to get out to my trash can in the snow and ice. So yeah, I'm hoping that the weather is a nice another. It's a nice another moderate winter. I'm hoping. We'll see. I very much hope. Hey, I appreciate all the subscriptions. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm very thankful. It gives me purpose to definitely make these posts, and hopefully I'll help somebody out and trying to figure out what they're going through. I hope. Any questions anybody has, do me a favor. Leave them below. I'd be more than happy to answer them, especially about anything that I just talked about. Health, my health. That whole thing with Visible. I think that's probably something that I could have asked some questions when I first started using that service. But if you have any questions, leave it below and I'll be more than happy to answer. Any other thoughts or comments, I'd be more than happy to answer. I am kind of curious where you guys are watching from. If you're in the United States, I don't want to keep talking about hurricanes or weather. If you're in, the Northeast, I don't want to talk about the weather here. If you're in Florida, I don't want to talk about hurricanes. You guys already know about it. So I wouldn't mind if everybody would just kind of let me know where they're watching from. That'd be great. You have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.